So good evening, actually. So if I actually say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Yeah.
Good
My name
evening.
is Tony, and I'm beside me. I got Shola. Yeah, Shola's from Real Talk Mentors, and we're in collaboration together with the Game Challenger. And we're here today, really, again, after a great successful first one in terms of men don't talk. But by the end of the conversation last time, men were talking, and we realized by the end of that conversation that we had more to say. So it would be unfair for us in Real Talk Mentors and the Game Challenger not to hear more talk. So then we decided, what do we want to talk about? And there was a topic came up, man up, man up. I hear this expression a lot of times when men are going through problems and they say, man up, yeah. And that's something big. And then also, what is it to do with? It's to do with the challenges that we're going through, the problems, solutions, also what's expected of us in society. So before I go deep into this, I first want to just say I had some sad news this week. Unfortunately, my best friend and my friends. So my best friend is brother, who's my friend also, passed away on the 30th at 3 p.m. 3 no 10 p.m. late at night. And my best friend called me to let me know, and he was in terrible shape. And Joe's been on the call with us, and it's his younger brother, which makes it even worse. It's his younger brother that makes it worse. So just want us to send our deepest condolences to him, and may his brother rest in peace. And also, this show is dedicated to Joe's brother. I just like to say he's an Edgar. Yeah, so just to let you know, Shegun Edgar. This show is dedicated to you. I know you can hear us all the way in heaven. Yeah, just help us through the show, please. And also, obviously, the family also. We need to pay respect, make sure we understand the family also, and we try to do what we can do to help and support the family too. So, with that note, I'd like to just pass on to Shola, and everyone just introduce themselves after Shola. Just go over to you, Shola.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Thanks for the intro. Evening, guys. Happy New Year. Yeah, as Tony's already given us that bit of sad news, just want to again reiterate our condolences and just really, pray that I believe we're all men of God here, and just pray that the Holy Spirit of God just really comfort Joe and the rest of the family. There's not much words we can say. As I said, may Shegun just rest in perfect peace. And as Tony rightly said, this is what this show is all about, isn't it? This is what this podcast, this forum is all about, to really uplift men, motivate men, encourage. And at times like this, when there's these down periods, life is full of peaks and troughs, isn't it? And so this is a trough now. I can't begin to imagine what Joe's going through. I'd like him, if he does listen to this at some point, that as Tony's just said, we're all there rooting for him and for the family, so on. So yeah, just over to we get further ado just to get into it. As Tony said there about manning up. I mean, this is a situation, isn't it, where there's grief. We don't want to make this show morbid, but this is real. It's real stuff, isn't it? It's real talk. And I just want to add that bit just to compliment what Tony was saying. I remember years ago, when my own late father died, may he rest in peace, 20-something years ago, and I was in grief, and it's so relevant because I was being told then to man up. I'm in grief, and I don't know if it's a traditional thing, but wasn't I think I said it last week. I wasn't blubbering, wasn't shedding out with tears, but I was sad in my spirit, and I've been told to man up. What are you crying for? What are you showing emotion for? And didn't we touch on this last week, guys, that traditionally then we've been expected not to show emotion, right? That we've been kind of coached and mentored, if you like, to just bottle it all up inside and just get on with it. You're a man, get on with it. But men cry too. And even from a scientific point of view or natural point of view, look, we've got these things in our eyes called tear ducts, right? God gave tear ducts to men and to women. And so they're meant to do something. They're meant to shed tears. They're meant to let water run and let that expression come out. And then that is part of the healing process. So I'm just laying that down tonight. If there's any comments on that, if we want to, say anything more about that, are we supposed to, in moments like this, are we supposed to cry? Are we supposed to just grin and bear it and just sort of grit our teeth and not show anything?
Yeah, I think we've got a lot to talk about, definitely on that. Thank you, Shola. So we also have you have Hero, you over there?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Tony. Yeah, Hero Lawson is my name, and I'm glad to be here from Nigeria. I'm here to learn and to unlearn. Yes. Thank you for coming through again.
I like that, Hero. I like that. Learn and to unlearn. That's deep. To learn and to
Very deep.
unlearn. Very deep. I like it. Thanks for that, Hero. Yeah. Welcome back. Yeah. And we have Yaya. Over to you, Yaya.
Yes, hi. Good evening, all. Thank you again for organizing this podcast. I think it's a very important topic. Taking it from last week's topic was very interesting. Again, we learned and we discussed, which was very open to see how much we ourselves as men are important for ourselves and for other men. Again, this topic, hope we'll have a very good deliberation. I think there are very, very wise men here, and I think we will be able to learn and to be able to impact others that are listening and will be listening in the future about how a man should man up.
Or should he? Okay. All right, yeah,
Started
thanks.
again, that
Yeah. Okay. So we have I think Shola, was it the name of the person on iPhone?
Miles.
Miles. So we have Miles. Miles, you want to just have a
Yeah,
quick
hello.
chat? Yeah.
Yeah, so 30-year-old male, grew up in London, African Caribbean background. Yeah, luckily, being able to blessed to be grow up with two-parent household. So yeah, got a son. He's 5 now. Not with the mum, but yeah, just finding my feet in the working world. I went to uni, did a mechanical engineering degree some years ago, but since then, dabbled in like telecommunications, done different engineering works, and yeah, just currently working in that field, engineering field.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that. Ross. Yeah. So on that note, we can get started. So does anyone? So Shola, let me go to you. You can kick the show off. Yeah, kick the show off. Let's do kick off.
Kick off time.
Yeah.
Kick off time.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Tony. Thanks for the welcome, guys. Everyone that's introduced themselves and seen the worth and the importance of joining us tonight, just to really talk as men. Be confidential, be vulnerable, as the case may be. What is it then to man up? What is it to man up? As Tony said before, that word, that phrase gets bandied about quite a lot. But what is it to man up? When I saw the title that Tony put up earlier, I was like, oh, here we go. There's so much, there's so much in there. Can't be finished in one night. There's going to be some sort of different spin-offs and ripple effects, even from this one, I think. If we put words out there, for example, as a man, how resilient are we supposed to be? Some people describe men as say that we're kings, we're warriors, we're mentors, we're providers, we're protectors, right? There's so many different connotations to being a man. One of the things, I'm just going to throw this out there again, one of the things I've gleaned over the years then, where does a man find his strength? Growing up, we used to kind of believe that a man has got to have this physical prowess. You've got to have your muscles. You've got to be strong physically. you know, and that outward showing of strength. And again, just playing advocate, putting it out there. You know, is it really all about that? Is an inner strength maybe a bigger quality than the outward strength? Again, putting it out there. I believe that being resilient, being able to take on challenges that come against us as men, they sort of prepare us for the future. Miles, my nephew there, he said his age there, with a young son. We've said it many times, Miles, haven't we? That, you know, you're called now. Whatever you go through in these younger years of life, is kind of preparing you and honing you and shaping you for future, so that your son can see, you know, a positive role model experience. That no matter what is being thrown at you, you know, you're able to overcome. Right? But again, they're just words, because it's easy to say that. In reality, then it's about how. How do we overcome? How do we overcome? So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things said out there. I've got my own views. I'm sure you've got a lot of own views. Let's mix it up. You know, let's partake in this discussion and see the different angles and learn. And as a hero that said it, just reiterate what Tony said, to learn and unlearn. Because you know what? We've learned so many different aspects of how we're supposed to be. But to some degree, guys, I believe some of those things we've learned coming up, we have to lay those things down and unlearn them then and relearn. Yes, because times change, situations change, our environments change, the temperatures that we're on, they change, you know. And so, as I said, it's about that resilience and being able to adapt accordingly. So again, just throw it back out there, guys. Let's see what we're going to come up with tonight.
Oh, fantastic! We've got a lot. We've got a lot there. You know, one thing I'll say is that, you know me, I'm kind of like, I like to mix it up a little bit. I like to mix it up a bit. And you know what we said. The topic is like man up, man up. Anybody that's heard man up, usually you hear it in the UK a lot. Yeah. And what does it mean, Shola? Usually when they say man up, what does it usually mean? Just to give people that are not in the UK an idea.
Yeah, it basically means to just get on with it. Stop bleating and beating around.
Yeah.
Just get on it. Stand up and be a man. Stand up yourself and get on with it, man. Don't be crying.
So you're emotional. Yeah, so you're emotionally down. You're weak, and they say, "Get up, man up. You're a man. Don't be. Basically, they say, don't be a woman. That's what they're basically saying, isn't it? So man up. Don't cry. Don't do anything. Just get up and get going. You can have mental issues. They said, man up. Do you understand? And it's just, and then that kind of stifles some things. So what we have to understand is, man up is one of these things where we say, look, you're a man, so you should be able to go through anything and everything and still come through clean, which we know these days is just like it's like a myth, really. It's not really true. Yeah. And like Shola mentioned, the fact that, you know, men don't cry, but men cry. If men don't cry, why do we have tear ducts? Why does the God give us facility to cry? If we don't cry, he could have saved himself the time to keep those tear ducts out, to lock them up. He could have saved the water that's coming from the body to get the tears out. You know, so what we have to understand, and you know, what we have to say, when we talk about the journey, we talk about the journey, don't we? We talk about, you know, firstly, how do we man up? And then the journey, the real story of manhood. What is the real story of manhood? What is your story? Because everybody's story here is different of what a man should be and what a man should do. And how, you know, I say to my friends, and you know, at the end of the day, I'm just crazy anyway. So don't worry about me. I say to my friend, when they talk to me, say, oh, this and this. I said, listen, let me tell you something. You are the hunter. Yeah, the hunter. When you see a lion and you see the lioness, what's the lioness doing? Taking care of the family, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the lion doing? The lion goes to hunt. Imagine a lion coming back with no food. What do you think is going to happen? Now, unfortunately, that's the way men and women used to be of old. It's not really new now because women make their own money. Yeah, and men make their own money. Yeah. But then we have families. So we have to obviously learn to share the money for the family. Now, but what happens is when we talk about the hunter, if something goes wrong in the house, forget about what's meant to happen normally, who's supposed to be blamed, but who is really blamed if something goes wrong in the household? And I'm not going to say who it's. I'll leave it to everybody to think about it. I say if there's a problem in the home, yeah, a man supposedly, if you're manning up, you're supposed to fix the problem in the home. You're supposed to provide a solution. Am I right or wrong? Don't say yes or no. I don't want you to get into trouble. Yeah, you're supposed to fix the solution. Now, guess what? If you're not the solution provider, you're part of the problem. That's the way I see society looks at men. If you have a problem in home and you're not a solution provider, you are part of the problem. So the problem is even bigger than the problem. So that's why we say man up. Now, also, we have problems in the UK and in Nigeria and part rest of the world where are men growing up as men now, as before? Are they growing up as men as before? Because I believe that unfortunately there's a lot of single single parents in terms of families. Yeah. So what happens is now is that sometimes we have absent fathers. So are those, and then sometimes we talked about the issue of the fact that in the UK, 2% of the population, based on the research I looked at, 2% of the population, yeah, are black men. But between 12 to 14% of the prison population are black men. So what is we're being failed somewhere along the lines. Some of our boys are in prison now, and they will only learn how to be a man in prison before they come out. Has the system failed us? Yeah. Has the family model, the new family model, failed us? Because this didn't happen before. So there's so many things, so many tiers, education, there's to do with father, women are bringing up men. Now, for me, they can bring up men by age, but without the contribution of a man, is that man fully has a fully understanding of being a man. Yeah, because we know we're different in terms of the way we think. You know, there's what's saying that they say in the UK, women. It's a funny one. So they say women are from I don't know. They say one's from Jupiter and one's from Mars. Women are from Mars, or I don't know, whichever way around it is. Now the thing is, sometimes you'll find the way ladies do things, which is good. They think very well. They don't want to put pressure on the son. Yeah, they want the son to make their own decisions and say, look, don't put pressure on them. And I say this, listen, I'm a pressure person. I don't believe anything can be achieved without pressure. And I believe that sometimes you need to guide your boys to men. You can't you see, why you need to put pressure is because, think about it, you cannot get a diamond without putting pressure on a stone. And we all need diamonds in our home. Yeah, we all need diamonds we all need stones turning into diamonds. Yeah, so you need to put pressure. And when do you want to put the pressure? If you don't put the pressure when they're young, then guess what? When they become old, they will now see pressure and not be able to handle pressure. So there's so many things that are affecting us as men. So I can go on forever. So I just thought I should just throw that into the whole thing. I'm probably going to get into trouble in some of these things, but who cares? We're trying to see, the real story behind manhood. We're trying to see, is man up true or false? Yeah, and that's me. So I think over to Yaya. Over to Yaya. Yeah, and then yeah.
Yeah,
we've got Greg on the call. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah.
And I think taking up from what Shola has said and Yusuf have said about man up, I think it's important. It's an expression. I look as an expression, but you're just trying to encourage. For me, I look at man up as an encouragement to be courageous, and look at your role as a man. I think, and I will look at man up in the role as a family person, because most of what have been said is within a family, a man should be a man. And a man should be a man, not only as a boyfriend, a partner, a husband, an uncle, a brother. It can also be as a grandfather. As long as you're a man, these roles are very important to within a family and a community. And I think it is important for families and for even for men. I think man up is it's looking at, as I said, is be courageous, strong in situations, and we're expected. Again, biblically, a man is the leader, and when you're a husband, you have the wife. You work in partnership, but you provide the leadership, you provide the guidance, and you open up the discussion. You communicate with the family members. You don't keep quiet. There's some topics with, like the last topic we say men should talk. There's some topic when you're quiet about it, it gets more dangerous, or you get more serious. If it's a situation where it's bad, it gets more bad. I think, but once we communicate, you talk, you have the courage. You're courageous to talk about situations, explain, face your wife, your children, your other family members about situation. They are resolved easily. It's not only about like fighting physically. You might not become there and so say physical. No, it's about how you communicate, what you communicate, looking at what is the role as a man and what guidance you can give to a topic that is coming up, and how you can provide. Because even there are situations between in families, husband and wife, where the wife could be earning more than the man, but the input or the leadership you give can surpass whatever the other person is bringing in. So it's not about what they say you should provide. Doesn't mean you should provide everything financially or physically, but even the guidance, making sure the family stay in line and they are focused on what is the right thing as a family to do and not to do. And make sure you have that attention for your children, for your wife. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to your family. Make sure you don't go out of line. You don't neglect them. Because for me, communication is good. Being man up. Talk about it. You see a difference in a child. Say, hey, why they are not studying? Or why you behaving this way? The wife coming there, they're not happy. Why are you not happy? What is happening? Is it work? Is it me? Is it the children? Or are we worried about the future? Because now, even with the economic situation, people are worried. They don't know what will happen next week or next month or next year. So they're looking at how can we work on things. You as the man should be able to provide that kind of guidance. Open the topic. Your wife or your partner can also contribute very, very well in those discussions. So you don't like just hold on. Oh, I will just say. It's not about you saying, you telling. You should do this. You should do this. You should do this, or you should go this. This is what you should discuss it, explain, and communicate well. I think that's where being man up, you can do it that very politically correct or civilizedly without you any hard words or being macho or say I'm the man. This is what should happen. So I think it's just about using that skill as a man and guide, whether within communities, within the families, because workplace is different. Even within workplaces, there are some situations where they need a man within some department, because we provide that kind of input that are required. So you be the man up to say the right thing, even at work. If you see something is going wrong, we're all colleagues or friends there, but say the right thing. So what you did was not correct, or we should have done it this way, or let's do it this way. The more we work together, or we have that leadership to make sure we do things in partnership with wherever we find ourselves as men. I think it will be better for families and all that. Because Tony spoke about children, absent fathers, children go to jail. As I said, a family is not about the husband. Um, a husband or a father could die and is not present, and the mother say, "I'm not going to," and the children could take advantage of that one mother. So, what will happen within our society, or from where we come from Africa, we have the uncles that can come in. They could also provide that man up role. The brothers, elder brothers, the grandparents, the grandfathers, they can, as men, provide that role. We don't not leave it to the mother and the kids to say the man is absent. We should take up the role of looking at not only within ourselves but outside families and see how we can provide support to those who need it, and also look at communities because sometimes it's needed. For me, I think man up is a very, very important topic or word that we can discuss, even biblically. Biblically, when the first person that God created was a man, and from the man he created a woman. Men must lead. I don't say it should lead in a wrongful way, but lead according to how it is required and how it should happen. So man up is taking up our leadership role, taking up our responsibilities, and providing whatever we can to make a happy home or happy situation. Because even say provide, the word provide can mean, oh, you should provide money for the home, buy the car, pay the rent, provide the food. You can do all of those, all of the above, and there is no happiness, there is no unity, and everything will be going all over the place. And it can even be worse than when you don't provide the finance. So I think Man Up is trying to do the right thing, learning from others, as our colleague said, we learn from each other, from experiences, from testimony people give, and we correct ourselves and make sure we apply the right thing. I think for me, Man Up is how I say it.